Hey, Gabrielle, I was wondering,
Yeah.
what are we doing next to a Lenin statue again?
You don't know that guy?
No. And where are we again?
Extremely good question. Well, if you can see, we're in Georgia, in the beautiful mountain of Caucasus.
Yeah.
And we're on the exact site of where the One Caucasus festival will take place. So that's why we're here.
Hello. My name is Dennis Lucic, and I'm the producer of Bande Pensante and the Gray Box Web Show. So we have a very special episode for you today. Our hosts, Valentin and Gabrielle, joined forces and traveled halfway across the world to bring you this live, direct from Georgia, and volunteering at the One Caucasus Festival. A very cool event, a very interesting experience, and they actually met some of the organizers and wanted to share what they're working on and some of their advice and everything they've kind of learned from that experience. But can you believe it? They left me back home in Quebec. You guys better be bringing me back a t-shirt or at the very least a mug. So we often talk about going out in the field and taking direct action with being hands-on on both of our shows. So this is why Valentin and Gabrielle joined forces today. There's a little bit of news that they're going to announce at the very beginning as well that you need to be aware of. That's a little fun on their personal side. But Valentin, Gabrielle, why don't you guys take it away?
Yeah. Okay. Let's walk. Let's see what's around. So that's an old communist school, if I get it right.
That's what I noticed, yeah.
And that's basically the headquarters of that event.
Yeah. And if you need any other proof that we're really in Georgia, here's the flag.
Okay. So far location set. Both of us have a podcast. I talk about nonprofits, social impact work, and what is your podcast about?
And I talk about ethics, usually around technology. And the natural setup, what I do is I talk about, let's say sometimes right to repair, cybersecurity, and I usually host someone from university or academic background, someone who's more on the field, and we make like some conversational clash to kind of make different point of view on the ethical challenge of some technology. But today, we're in Caucasus. It's been a while since I've made a webcast. It's been a while since you've made a webcast.
It's been a few months, yeah.
So we might as well join force now that we are engaged. We are
True.
engaged.
We join ventures.
Yes, exactly. It's
so
fusion, acquisition.
Fantastic. So essentially, let's talk about One Caucasus. Let's talk about the reality of educational technologies, ethics, and stuff like that. And
the special context of Georgia.
Yeah, and because it's summer, let's be concrete about it. It's not about theory on this episode. So we're gonna talk about something very concrete. We're here at One Caucasus. We have Misha. Hi, Misha.
Hey, Misha.
Hello.
Lud.
Hello.
Hello, Lud.
Hello.
Fantastic. So we have you for about 45 minutes. You're not physically allowed to leave the premises, and we have a bunch of questions for you. So first of all, what is One Caucasus? How do you? It's been running for a few years. How do you explain it these days?
Okay.
You know what? Let's revert back a bit. Start just by presenting yourself. Misha, can you tell us about you, your background, what you do at One Caucasus?
Hello, my name is Misha, and I feel that I am part of One Caucasus. I was born in Georgia. I am Armenian naturally, and I grew up in Georgia. And I hope I will live all my life in Georgia because I love it. And being a part of One Caucasus, for me, this is very, very important thing because I think that One Caucasus is a place where people start to see, start to think, start to do something except like all other life. They forget everything and they start a new life here, you know, new point of view, new people, new attitudes, and they start to do something. They start to think global. They start to think not from their own position, not from only their point of view, but they start to think about different cultures, different languages, different traditions and different countries. And I'm very happy that I'm one of people who start to do it with One Caucasus. So
Fantastic. I see your point. It's a good intro to it because it's an event where you have people from a bit all around, different backgrounds, from cities, from small villages. We're from Canada. You're from Georgia. We have people from Poland and etc. All those people get together. You're there here too. You have also your own experience and background. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so Lud from Martinique, so a French citizen living in Poland and attending One Caucasus in Georgia. So I think kind of sum up a bit the vibe here, you know, so like some kind of bunch of UFOs meeting here and do something. I'm a part of One Caucasus from day one. Remember about the school. This is a school over here, what's right here, and no toilets, no electricity, and so on. And I started like a trainer doing workshops in the villages with kids. And from the second edition, I've been like the coordinator of the workshop and education groups. And it's been 9 years. So
Congratulations for that 9th edition as well. There's something that stands out for me when I read about One Caucasus is the words interdisciplinarity, co-creation comes up frequently. And that strikes me because I'm a bioethicist, and those are two terms that usually come in the way we do bioethics. Interdisciplinarity is super important, co-creation as well. So I want to talk about maybe the organization context and challenge regarding those two aspects. So can you tell us more about the aspect of first interdisciplinarity in One Caucasus? What's the importance of it, and how do you make it happen here?
I would say, if I can start, I would say that it's almost geographical. It means that we are in a region where you have different minorities, and the idea itself of the festival was to create a space where these different minorities can talk. And we are in a context that is really specific because we are talking about Azerbaijani minority, Armenian minorities in Georgia. So we are also at the edge. So you are, if you go this way, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, there is a country over there. You're in Armenia there? This way. Yes. And here is Azerbaijan? Yeah. So really on the edge, and if we know the geopolitical situation, you know that we are on something really sensitive. So that's why our philosophy, this shaped our philosophy to go into something inclusive. Yes, yeah, this can happen also in One Caucasus. We have these guys, yes, because we have this cow. Her name is Michael. But after
To
give context, there's a moment where all the cows are getting in the field, and that was part of the logistics on when we can actually film, because when you have like 80 cows with their bells. Yeah. But if I understand right, this is historically a fairly hot zone because it's close to different frontiers, borders that historically have been, had conflicts, right?
So instead of speaking about peace, like do this peace thing, come and hug each other, and we will sing Hakuna Matata and so on. I don't know if it's working. It would work here. So that's why we try to focus to bring the people, meet the people. That's what we are doing also at the scale of volunteers. We go and meet people from different countries are meeting. At the micro scales, it's the same process. People are meeting, create together, to have the impression to avoid this hit and run Western
colonization.
I would say this tradition. I would say tradition, and to give really a voice, to come here and draw a canvas, and let the youth here, the people who want to be active, to co-create, to express themselves.
Fantastic. So and Misha, can you tell us maybe a bit more on the geopolitical context of Georgia? Myself, when I came here, I didn't know there was Azerbaijani and Armenian village within Georgia. I knew about the border and there was tension in between Azerbaijan and Armenian, but it seems it's much more complex than I thought. So maybe we can give us some context of what we're getting into in One Caucasus when we're working in all those villages that are either Azerbaijani, Armenian, or Georgian. What's happening exactly concretely? Can you give us just a bit of context socially?
Yeah, of course. First, I would add a bit on the previous question, that the interdisciplinarity that we say is not only that we bring this interdisciplinarity. We learn a lot from locals. Mm-hmm. We learn a lot from this reality, because we see how is possible when there is in 30 kilometers, there is a war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. We see that there is a village of Armenians and Azerbaijans, they're living together here. And no one speaks about war, and no one mentions the war. And we learn that it's possible. It's possible to make this peace here. And answering the question about the geopolitical stuff, this area was always under the question, whose land is this? Like, is it Armenians? Was it Armenian? Was it Azerbaijan? Was it Georgian? You know, like it was always under the question, but we are in Georgia and we are sure that we are in Georgia. But there are a lot of Armenians, there are a lot of Azerbaijans, and they are sure that then they are in their own home. This is their own home and this is Georgia. And no one even speaks and no one makes a questions that where am I? I am at my home. And doesn't matter, I am Armenian, I am Azerbaijanian, I am Greek, or I am Georgian. I am at my home. So this is the home that we live. And this is our common home. And when we were thinking how to work, how to come to this reality, always we were coming from these people, from the culture of these people, because this culture, I think, is one of the main thing, the brilliant that we have here. And of course, no one tries to change something or to bring something. I think, and I'm sure that we can take more and more from these people, from this culture, from these traditions, these common traditions. Because as Armenian, I can say we have a lot of mixed traditions with Azerbaijanis and with Georgians.
So what you want to do is focus on the common ground you have rather than focusing on the difference that can divide people.
Of course, this is the richness that we have. This is that we don't ask never here about what is your nationality. If you are local, you will never ask about nationality. You will ask from which village are you, or from which city, or from which town, for example. We never ask about nationality because it doesn't matter who are you. So this is the spirit here, even on this field, on One Caucasus Festival, this is the spirit. It doesn't matter color, nationality, religion, like a lot of things that can divide people. So we don't divide, we multiple, you know, these people.
So I'm curious, I think you lay down pretty nicely the cultural context, and then you talked also about the co-creation that happens, because it's a festival, it happens over a certain period of time, and during that period of time there's co-creation that is done with, for example, people in this village and in other villages that are around this location. Can you kind of give example of the type of activities of co-creations that are made between volunteers here and for example the kids? So what kind of shape does it take for them?
Usually we try to make some pairs of volunteers. I mean, the context has changed also. Before the recent war between the Azerbaijan and Armenia, we could have an Armenian volunteer, an Azeri volunteer, and we go to an Azerbaijani village. We meet the kids, we talk with them, see what they would like to do, if they like, I don't know, movies. It depends also on the skills of the volunteers, because we have people that have different backgrounds, videographers, artists, painters, and so on. So we try to make a mix between especially what the kids would like, what are their center of interest, what they are good at. And we try to make a mix of all that, and we give them also the space to create like a scenario or a program together. We help them with what we know, because sometimes, for example, they don't know about movie making, but they would like to know about it. So we do it, but it's not like we are like the directors, because they don't know. We explain them, we show them, and then we let the magic happen. Yes.
So they're the director who just kind of help out.
Yes, help out, because if we direct it and we go, they won't be motivated enough to do it. But if they know how to do it, they will start to create. They will start to, because the goal is for them to engage them when we are here only. Yes, is for them to continue to try to we try to change the attitude toward knowledge. I will learn this because it will allow me to do more, to create more. So this is the idea, and I would say that it's based on three, I would say, principles. It's the capacity of adaptation, critical thinking, to take the distance from and see from the far where you're from, your village, to see it, to discover it with new eyes, to be able to present your village to the world in an interesting and entertaining way.
Okay.
I'd like to go back a bit on the social context to ask a trick question. It's kind of my trademark with my own webcast, to ask a soul-crushing question that are hard to answer. So, of course, this year's, it's 2022, there's a cloud looming over our head, and it's the Ukraine invasion by Russia. And, of course, there's a small focus on it for this year's edition, I think, for trying to make fundraiser for Ukrainian defenders. Is that so?
Yes, that was the one of main parts that we was thinking while we was planning all this festival. As you know, here on One Caucasus, we are doing a lot of stuff for free. So on the musical part that we have, there are some musicians that we have to pay, or they need to pay. And this year we make this purpose that not to pay them, but the amount of money to make this fundraising, and the amount of money that we would pay, it would just collect it for Ukrainian support. Of course, this is not buying some military thing, but to support for life.
Yeah, my actual trick question, with that premise is done, is that you talked about the intercultural context of One Caucasus and the focus on peace and co-creation, interdisciplinary and stuff like that. If someone from Russia were to apply to One Caucasus and say, I want to come and co-create here with you guys, what would be the appropriate response, considering also what happened to Georgia a couple of years ago when Russia snatched 20% of your territory? What would be the actual good way to handle a Russian candidacy to participate to One Caucasus?
From our point of view, we are focused on the person, what this person has to bring. We try to avoid the mistake that a person represents the government, represents the whole country, because biologically it's not possible, physically it's not possible. Yes, so try to take a.
Thank you for the remark.
Yeah, I mean, in
I
case
was feeling the weight of the responsibility.
yeah, of Canada, you understand. So you drop it, just drop it. We would approach this person from the skills, and as Misha has said before, we wouldn't go into the village. We wouldn't talk about nationalities. We will focus on skills and the capacity of this person to create an environment for co-creation.
And now there's a lot of Ukrainians joining us to this edition. Let's say someone from Ukraine says, I'm not comfortable having that Russian guy here. What do you do?
I would be disappointed because this is not the spirit. Right. This is not the spirit here. And we think also we rarely have those kind of situation, because to come here at this road so far away from any kind of civilization. After us, there's no road, So
we'll talk about this.
Yes.
Right after.
So this is the filter. So I just want to say that the way the festival is done, this is the filter.
If you're motivated enough to come here,
if you come,
you have a mindset.
Shit,
yes.
And you have to pass all through those loops.
Yes. You have the mindset that I am a person and helping, doing something by others. I can be also this somebody I like, this somebody I want to be.
So, would the message for anyone coming here is that you have to come here with the mindset of being larger than yourself and larger than life, and you're more than what you represent? Yes,
that's what I tell, because those are harsh conditions. So I said, okay, sometimes you will have your person will maybe feel uncomfortable with something. It will be hard. You would like to maybe complain about the boss, the organization, and so on, and you may have a conflict. But just remember that you are here for something bigger than yourself. Mm-hmm. That when you are here to bring a little brick to this building of One Caucasus that is on several years, and we hope we will last for enough to see the change in mentalities that we would like to see, or at least initiate it.
And even we had, I think, 2018 or 17, if you remember, a volunteer from Russia, from Kaliningrad. Victoria, you remember? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a volunteer, and it was very open, and it was like everyone was of course. And when we speak about volunteers, when you come here to One Caucasus, of course, I totally agree, and that's the spirit, as we say very often. You come here to put your little own like stone or brick, or you can call it anything, to these changes.
Right.
And you are ready for these filters. You are ready for a lot of questions. You are ready for a lot of answers. You are ready for a lot of problems that it could be. But of course, as Lud said, it's more higher than yourself, than your own like local things or local some ideas. Of course, it's more higher, because this is the future.
Yeah.
To sum up with a deep voice when you're coming here, you're already the change.
Wow.
We need more of these. I want to go back to something, because trying to make change is literally the purpose of social impact organizations and such, and it often gets into the idea of, well, how many resources, what do you have to start with? We talked about allocation, we talked about a very unique social environment. What I'm curious also is in terms of, for example, when you're trying to do activities here, we showed in the introduction the school. There's a reason why this is not a live podcast, is because internet can cut at any moment. So, you know, already internet is kind of complicated, electricity, things like that. What's the kind of setup in terms of infrastructure of an event like that?
And if you want to ground it a bit more in the actual context, maybe make a comparison between you came here for the first edition, how it was, and how is it now?
Nice.
I thought how it was and how is it now.
Because keep in mind, you might talk to some people that when they do activities like co-creation, for example, they do it in the city, for example. So what's the setup here?
Okay. How it starts as a foreign guy, okay?
With a deep voice. Yeah.
It's hard. It takes a lot of resources to talk with
Because
this.
it comes from the soul.
Yeah, it comes from the soul. Okay. Anyway, but the first time we're right here. There was no windows, for example, in this school, like our broken windows. In the gymnasium, no windows, no electricity, no toilets. We had, I think it was smelling so bad that we thought that someone was dead in these toilets there. So it's a
that's
hole.
a toilet?
Yeah, that's a toilet. Yeah, it's the hole, and we had to clean it and so on. When we arrive here, the people are really they're happy, and it was weird because I don't know if you can imagine, we are really at the very edge of Georgia, really far. And when we arrive, there is a river down there. Before we arrive to the school, we stop at this river. So with us there was this different people, a guy from New Zealand, different people, different colors. We come as a big rainbow. And we arrive in this place, we call it the little jacuzzi, and they were like all the locals. It was full. So it was the meeting of two worlds, and we stand like this, I would say 30 seconds. No one said nothing. Who will shoot first? You don't know. Okay, so as I really like people, and I'm not so afraid of the socialization, so I undress like they were,
That's the natural response to conflict.
Let's go, I had my camera, and I took my camera. I tried to discuss I didn't speak nothing, and we are lucky enough to have a girl. The only girl who knew Georgian really well was a Kenyan girl.
My God.
Yeah. So for you, it's my God. So for them, it's like, oh my God. You understand?
What are the odds?
Why?
Yes. Why? And,
what kind of choice did you make?
and abstract. And I give the kid the camera. I say, now look, and I know that in this case, to break the ice, it's through the kids, because if the kids accept you, the whole community.
Oh.
So, and then it was okay. They were jumping, so we were just trying to jump with them and so on. And then we arrived here, and it was like, oh my God! Well, there's on the floor, I think it was a mattress of dust that we had to clean. But hopefully, when we arrived, there were some fun guys. There are the guys like
Local guys.
with something called cha-cha. and we have been drinking this cha-cha. And I think that we were so drunk that the first night was sweet. We slept comfortably on this dust on this old dust on the floor, and it was kind of hardcore and romantic at the same time. It was hard romantic. I don't know.
Hard romantic.
Yeah, it was.
That's a thing now.
Yes.
It is. Hashtag romantic. Okay.
So, yeah.
That probably explains why there's so many activities involving kids. It's a fantastic way to break the ice with various villages and such. So that was 9 years ago? 9 years ago?
9 years ago. And when we arrived in the, if I can finish, when we arrived in the village to do the workshops, I remember as a village, you will get Armenian village, Azerbaijani, sorry. And the noise, oh, they're happy to have the workshop. And when we arrive, of course, I arrive with still the rainbow and like this.
No.
And then we start to do the workshop, and then the noise starts again. So it means that we are accepted. But
So noise is good.
Yeah, noise is good sometimes. Yes.
So we talked about a lot of the villages around here that you make workshop here, but One Caucasus stands in one village. Can you tell us more about the village we're in, the name of it, and just what kind of impact did One Caucasus had on the village, positive or negative?
So, as we already know, all of us, we are in Tsarakli village, and Tsarakli village is one of the, I think, biggest villages, Georgian villages in this area. As 86% of population in Marneuli are Azerbaijanis, and like just 5% of population are Georgians here in this. Yeah, this is a bit different region from all other Georgia, and this is a Georgian village with a big history, because in this village was born Mikhail Javakhishvili, one of the just brightest.
Can you repeat that?
Absolutely not, you know it.
Mikhail Javakhishvili, yeah, one of the brightest activists in the period of the starting of Soviet Union and anti-Soviet guy, I can say. Yeah, and there is a museum of Mikhail Javakhishvili, and this village is like more is famous by this person, and while the organizers was starting to think where to make this festival happen. They was thinking about Sadakhlo, which is very close to Armenia. It's on the border of Armenia. They was thinking about different villages, but this area, I think, was made for this festival, because we have very good school now. Of course, after these changes,
there are now windows and electricity.
Yes,
and all. Yes.
Still there are a lot of problems, but this is very good place for management with volunteers. This is very good place for living. There is very good like air, and there is like very good like how to say it, climate here. Yeah. So
as you're testing the sun right now.
Yeah. This is the message. This is the message from the sky.
It goes so fast.
Yeah. And as we started to work here, of course, first of all, there was a lot of questions. Who are these guys? Why these people came here? What do they bring here? And what are they doing? Like, for example, for this area, it's very strange when like ladies are working with hammers and very like hard working or digging something, you know. Tattoos. Yeah, with tattoos, of course. Yeah, and with very short, like shorts or dress, you know. Yeah. And it was very strange here. It was very strange here. But as we speak about the impact, of course, this is the economical thing, which brings a lot of people who would buy something, who would go and rent a flat, who would like economy stuff. It comes to like starts to increase somehow. Another thing is the thing that I like. Our children, local children, and all of them, they know English language better than other languages, other villages. because they are coming. Lud was working with them from the start, and they started to like feel that we need this language to learn. We need this to communicate with these people, and they are sure that next year these people will come. And I met a lot of children that, for example, last year they didn't know any word, but this year they start to have the simple communication. So this is the impact.
That's a way of them to get involved with you, so now they can communicate with you and participate. Would you say that One Caucasus is now part of the identity of Tsaragvi?
That, can we say that?
I think
Or
definitely.
Tsaragvi is the identity of One Caucasus? I don't
That,
know.
of
The
course,
other way around.
of course, the
The
second
other way
one.
around,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
The other
yeah,
way around, yes.
yeah. There was only once, 2018, that we tried to make One Caucasus in different village.
Yeah.
It was in Bolnisi region,
Shatak.
yeah, the old
Poladauri.
Chataki, now it's Poladauri, and we tried to do it. It was pretty cool. It was pretty good, yeah, with very open people. That was coming, that was inviting us to the weddings.
Oh.
You remember that? Yeah, and we were the part of that. And that was very the same, you know, it was like first year here,
Yeah.
the same was there, you know, for these people. Who are these people? Why they came? And of course, for us, missing Tsarakvi was something that we really missed, you know. And next year we decided, okay, no, we go back to Tsarakvi, because the same as we speak about the region. For example, I can say that Marneuli region for other Georgia is something very far, something we don't know, something we will never go there, you know, something that no one somehow wasn't interested, you know. Okay, there was a lot of people coming, but this festival brought people from different regions. I don't want to speak about, for example, like tourists, because of course this is transit zone and there are a lot of tourists coming, but from regions, which is very important. And Georgians from different, like other regions came and they felt this is Georgia. And this is, yeah, this is part of us. This is our country. And this is very important. Like I met a lot of people who was first time in Marneuli, in Kvemo-Kartli, in this region and in this village. So the impact is to introduce that we are here, we are Georgia, we have a lot of nationalities and we are Georgia, and of course we will be Georgia with you, of course. So this is the impact, very important thing for new generations that shows that we are one.
So if I get it right, not only the activities that are done here in the village with kids and also in the other villages around, kind of a fantastic introduction, but with all the cultural events that happen during the festival, it also brings a lot of people. So we have a few questions. Should we move slightly outside the side? I just want to know.
It's good for you for editing, or you will cut and.
Yeah. Wow, this is fine. I just want to know, are you comfortable? We need to move just a bit on the side.
No.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm black now.
So let's adjust.
I'm
real
getting
quick.
lewd.
Yeah. So
I'm
here,
becoming lewd.
It's interesting because we can see the time of the interview. Next time we'll just put lines with the time left in the interview. Wait, do we need?
We need to
Do you
cut
see
the
them
grass?
through the grass?
Do I have grass in my nose?
So as you see, we're in the nature right now. So
Hiding in the...
I want to quickly get back at a lot of events when they're happening year over year. They have a natural toll on the village, the city, the location that is hosting them. You talked about that school that each time is kind of hosting that activity. Is there basically improvement that is paid by the festival to improve the school, or did that kind of accelerate some of that infrastructure around that not only benefits the festival, but also people outside the festival?
In a bit of an ambiguous way to put it, if you were to stop the festival, would it affect the village in its development?
It will affect us for sure.
We're not talking about you.
I said us. I said us.
He means like us. He means Georgians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smooth. Yeah.
But I would say that when we talk about the infrastructure and the impact the festival could have,
Yeah.
I would say that we have internet now. So, and then politically it helps also to people to take the decision to install this big relay antenna for
Okay.
internet.
So it was an argument to
If,
say.
of course,
You give leverage to the village.
I think so because it has an exposure, more than, in the area and not only. So Serakfi was getting a little bit famous before the festival. We saw television that came and didn't talk to us, but talked to the kids, locals.
Oh
And,
wow.
yeah, and the
That's
kids
fantastic.
were used to the workshops, so they were sitting. Yeah, basically we like this festival, but yeah.
Just chilling at the festival. Just super. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a three-piece suit, like, I'm not famous.
So the road, when we talk about the famous road from Shulaveri to here, 9 years ago, this road was terrible. It takes to reach Serakfi. It took, I would say, nearly 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. And now you do it in 40 minutes.
Wow.
So that says a lot. But of course, they did some parts and left some parts for us to remember, remember how it was hard. But most of the roads have been nicely paved now and it's moved. So we think that it has an impact. I don't know if they have a stadium now, the kids they didn't have a stadium to play. I don't know if we had an impact on this, on the decision to put a stadium here. I don't know about that. But for sure, I think that the village has, this school, of course, is at the image of what we've been doing in the school. You can see now paintings. We try to renovate, to paint. So each year we are trying to add another layer, for something to be done for the place in the village.
So obviously, every time there's a festival or a big event in a city, sometimes it's a smaller city. Sometimes the population of certain places kind of double or triple when events take place, and that takes a toll on every city or place that happen. There could be environmental cost, it could cost on infrastructure, security and stuff like that. So obviously in a small village like Serakvi, when the actual events take place, what kind of impact does the festival have that could be negative?
We need to think a lot about that, Of course.
That's an important part of taking responsibility.
When you bring together about 2,000 people, you never know who thinks different. Yeah. When you bring people, for example, from the region that is populated with different, lot of nationalities, the same religions, and a lot of stuff, you never know what will happen. But as we are working in this area, in Kvemo-Kartli region, and as you know, Georgia is very rich by very high mountains, very old churches, castles, very a lot of stuff, and is very touristic region. Here in Marneuli, we are not as rich. Of course, there are a lot of very interesting things, but tourism is not very developed, here, as it can be Svanetia, as it's Racha, as it's Kakheti or Batumi, Ajara, we are not as developed. But I will say, of course, this is, I will say the positive one, that when we are making this festival here, percently, the biggest part of these tourists are coming in the end of August. From one side, we think that, okay, can we accept big amount of people, I don't know, 10,000 people all together here? And always we're coming that maybe we're not ready for that. Maybe we're not ready by different stuff. Can we feed all these people? And we are not trying to bring lot of people, 10 or 20,000 as other festivals do. We make this OC family here, and for some people it's something strange happening there. And I'm still trying to find something negative, but I can't really. Maybe because like I am part of this, and it's very hard to find this negative, you know. But when you bring these strange people here, when other people try to understand what's going on there, and they can't understand, of course they have a like chance to give this in like other rhetoric, like
feedback.
yes,
that
like,
PR.
yeah, to make that PR that this festival, these young people are going, living there in the tents,
Trashing the place.
they're bringing their bad culture to our brilliant, you know, like they can say anything. They are free in that. But still we are sure that we try to do something good. And that's the important, that we try to do. If you want to give, like, to show us, come join us and do it better. No problem. Like, but still, I can't explain what can be negative here. Maybe Lud, you can.
Well, Lud,
So,
you have the
my
approach
list.
in your workshops to talk about deltas, right? Instead of, it's not a negative point, it's much rather something that still needs a bit of reflection, brain power, maybe time. And sometimes you cannot have the positives without having some counterbalance to it. What is still need a bit of time in working and work?
I would say when we talk concretely, for example, about this village, we have an issue with water, and of course it's common in the region. So when there is the festival, we have a lot of people. Everyone is using the water, so this can cause some minor.
So what happens then?
Minor problem, water shortage. So we communicate about it. We try to tell when we have a tent field in front of the school. And we try to communicate about it. And we are lucky enough that the people who are coming here and sleeping, there are not so many. So usually you have people coming and leaving. And for the one who are coming, first of all, they don't take so many showers. So,
so if I get it right, if everybody who comes to the event, you know, kind of have the same lifestyle in terms of shower, in terms of this and that, there's just not enough water for the area.
If they act like the golf in Las Vegas, I think the whole area will be out of water.
Okay.
I would say this, but we had this discussion with a lot of people who told us, not only in this village but in this area, who told about the problem about water, and I believe we haven't found the opportunity yet, but for example, there is something called the fog catcher. And I don't know if you know, it's in Peru, in the mountains, and in the morning you have this water forming. So you can collect this water. It's like 10 to 20 liters a day. So if we could make a little prototype and try it here, I think this would be perfect. I mean, we have a lot of mountain away, abroad. Maybe we can come with something. We have something called participatory architecture. So I think this is the field to. This is where also we try to find solutions for the everyday life of the citizen. For example, someone is selling under the sun. We build something to make their life better. So I think that our responsibility is, even if we are sometimes a bit the cause of a problem or we accentuate some problems, we have the responsibility to come up with a solution that will make the life of the resident better than before we arrive. So this is our, I would say this is our approach.
And that's part of those workshops and activities that you do during the festival.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I'd like to pivot a bit on the political side of One Caucasus, because obviously those kind of events, you need collaboration from municipality, the countries, and probably other countries as well, because people come from everywhere. So Misha, can you enlighten us a bit about the political situation between One Caucasus and the actors that represent maybe the cities or the area?
I can say that we have very big support, very like strong support from governors, local governors from the this Kvemo-Kartli region. We have very strong support from ministries. It can like Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, and they are very open. They're very like they're ready to do a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of stuff, a lot of things to open the doors that are closed for us. So, and when we started this festival, there was one guy here, the mayor, who was, I think, the engine of the engine, Topchishvili, he was the engine. He was coming every evening here, and he was just taking part in a lot of stuff. He was like very open to everything. Of course, people are changing, things are changing, and political stuff is a bit different. But of course, we had periods that we felt this little bit pressure, I can say, from the political side. Of course, there was a period that it wasn't time for a festival because there was some elections and no one was ready to work, to cooperate, because there was a lot of stuff to do. There was this COVID, these regulations, these like a lot of things, but still we was trying to adapt. And when we speak about politics, of course, we don't have a very strong impact on the politics. And of course, here we try to do a bit far from politics, any politics. Of course, we are, as we speak about politics on the region, in the more global position, I can say that in very little steps, we change it. I remember, for example, as we speak about politics, between Armenia and Azerbaijan, of course, there is a big propaganda. Because 30 years, there is a war, and this war is still happening. And one of the days that I will remember, of course, was when I met band from Azerbaijan who never met Armenians. There was in Azerbaijan, and they never met Armenians. And I met them, and we had very cool conversation during 3 days. We were drinking beer together, was making music all together, and had a lot of fun. And on third day, we were speaking about something, and I said that as an Armenian, I can this, and there was, what? Are you Armenian? I said, yes. And they, no, please, no, Armenians are different, and they never met a live Armenian. They always thought this propaganda was
so they couldn't conceive that they were getting along with an Armenian.
Yes.
Wow.
And I was speaking Azerbaijan with them, and they thought that I'm Azerbaijan. They was sure that I'm not Armenian, I'm not Georgian, I am Azerbaijan, They was sure. And when I was saying that, oh, please don't make jokes, don't make jokes like that. And I was showing my passport. Look, I am Armenian, I have this. And they was very surprised, that we always was sure that Armenians are ready to kill you or something, in the same is in Armenia. And this, I think the biggest impact, the biggest change in the political thing, in geopolitical thing, is that we have already, I think, more than 100 or 50, volunteers from both sides that came, that has still contacts together. Because yesterday, for example, I got a call from one of our architects from Ugur, and he asked me, okay, what's happening on festivals?
He misses it.
Yes.
Homing mechanism.
He didn't call. I can say that he didn't call to other people who Azerbaijanis. He called to Armenian from Azerbaijan.
Yes.
So it means that we already make a step to each other. We get closer a bit, but we get closer. So this is the political thing that we are changing already.
And to come back to this political aspect, the festival nearly 10 years. So we have seen passing governors, mayors, and we are it is still here. So it's like it's something stupid, but it's like the CIA. Many the president, but the CIA is still here. So, so let's say that we'll cut that. Yes, I don't want problem. Okay.
No, that's gonna be the highlight, really.
Nothing to do with Afghanistan. I have the beard, but I'm cool. I swear. Okay. But anyway, and also we had also sometimes conversations, sometimes tough conversations. Sometimes we were not afraid, even we start to step aside. But one time we had one of the vice-mayor who told us, "Yeah, why you do this? We don't understand." And they start to try to cut the grass under our feet, I would say. And we told him, "Okay, it's like we planted the seed, and the next day you ask us where's the tree."
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it was something.
That's powerful.
And I tell him that change, it's not about these 5 years where you will be elected. Yes, change takes generations.
Yes.
Yes. So, and then I think he was vexed. I think it was like, I didn't respect the hierarchy. Who are you to tell me this? But I think maybe it has also an impact. And they start maybe to think that maybe there is something to win with this festival. There is something the region can have an exposure, so maybe we could collaborate, and it's not a political thing. So we are not doing like Trump with Obamacare. We let it go because it's beyond politics.
Like we said earlier, it's larger than life. It's larger than yourself and your identity. It's more than that. If I could go ahead with a bit of a controversial question still about politics. Again, this year's festival has a certain focus on Ukraine defender and helping them out. Regarding the political situation in Georgia and its stance with Russia, do you fear there will be some effect or maybe complication for One Caucasus this year because of your stance toward Ukraine? Is there any risk at all?
As I can say as a risk, because I'm sure as there are a lot of I will call it refugees from Russia and from Ukraine here, because they are refugees. There are people who escape their own politics. I mean, Russians. They just escape and they are driving here their cars with the flag of Ukraine and that we support Ukraine. And I'm sure they are very into this, of course. And I am sure that there will be a lot of Russians here.
I'm more questioning about the political side, like the people that can finance you or give leverage to the festival or give you permission to anything. If they were, let's say, more on a pro-Russian stance and they see that you're supporting Ukraine, do you think they could do something to kind of make nuisance to your festival or just making life hard for you in any ways?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so because there is, look, there is something happening. This is already in the process. And this process, of course, will be done.
So there's a political microclimate here that cannot be touched by external politics.
Of course, and this is not as big process that can change something in the geopolitical stuff of South Caucasus, you know, of course. But this is something very little which has very big power.
Yeah, just to come back on one thing that you asked us before to come back maybe to.
Yeah, sure.
But if the festival wasn't going to be anymore, what would it, the impact of the festival not being here?
Yeah.
I think all in all it would be a very sad thing for us Georgians.
You, Georgia?
And for example, I think it's becoming a tradition. That's why we said also at the beginning when we called this rock and roll merab, that we would like One Caucasus to be a tradition in the area. So I think we have kids here that was born when the festival arrived. So they are like, for them it's like they grew up. Yes. We work with kids. Sometimes we make a picture and then we see the same picture with them, but like with 6-7 years difference. So
you have a generation that literally grew up.
I would say that we have a generation that grew up, growing up during and One Caucasus. I hope if we stop, there will be something with another name maybe, and but people will maybe continue, or even the kids, they will miss it and they will maybe do something on their own, take the initiative, and that will prove us that we weren't for nothing, that we really had an impact in something that could last, and that could be a part, a little tear in the change of mentality, you know. So we hope, if we are not here, that something will continue somehow.
Time is running fast quickly. We're probably at 45 minutes, right?
Or more than that.
More than that? 54. Okay,
So
I'll
it's
go
a
quick.
wrap.
I'll go quick because we talked about the future of events and infrastructure and the kind of landscape and the act of co-creation and have all those people meet together across time. I'm curious, a lot of festivals struggled during COVID and they moved online, and for some of them that was kind of the end of that festival, right? Or they couldn't exactly replicate the same formula, and for some of them they kind of moved to an interesting hybrid format where they were suddenly allowed to do things that they couldn't. They suddenly were able to have people to participate that would not be able to afford financially or in terms of time, the act of moving. What I'm curious is, what was your kind of, in retrospect, the COVID years, what's the learning there? How did you react to it?
And if there's something you kept from your COVID experience that still take place today?
Besides the initial surprise of COVID that all the events had, what is the learning, or it definitely has to be done in person?
First of all, I can say that for me and for the team that One Caucasus created, I can say the one of the important thing what was in 2020, when we had to do this festival without the main organizers, without the people who are bringing this festival here, the engines. That is Vitek Ivanovsky, that is Lud, that is like guys who are coming and who are bringing this mood here.
Because they couldn't get in the country.
Yes, okay. It was blocked. And we had a challenge here with five or six people here. And we got this order. The festival should be happen. And with a lot of restrictions, with face mask, with a lot of these hand cleaners, with a lot of things, with distance, with, okay, of course we were just breaking sometimes these rules, but there was a challenge to do it, because, and we had this like conversations with Zoom and with virtual conversations, and I was feeling that these guys are proud that they did something. They have already this generation. And if no COVID, maybe we will never fail that, you know, that they grew up a generation which is making this festival already by themselves, of course, with big help. And this COVID, this was one of the like challenges and one of the changes that gave to us, of course, to this family, that look, these people can do that by themselves. And it happened, of course, with those problems, of course, like a lot of things. Another thing was 2021 that we didn't have. It was prohibited to make any festivals. And that rule we got, I think, 1 week earlier. It was like doing everything, constructing like everything. And we just got a message that every festival should be stopped.
That hurts.
Cancel it. Little SMS. We kindly advise you that
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
I think we should see other people. My government.
yeah, and the process already started. People were here, volunteers were here, people were coming, driving here and asking when the festival will be. And it was wow. So still we are coming to adaptation. Still we are coming this adaptation, because COVID was totally like a period that you need to adapt. You need to adapt this education stuff to take to the virtual way. You need to adapt this medicine. You need to adapt for everything. No face masks, no these like like problems were not like, we were not ready for anything, but we still try to adapt. And there was an evening with like in the kitchen that we have, and we started by a joke, like, what if people are not allowed to come here, so we will go to people. Yeah, if you don't go to festival will come to you. So we made this, I think one of the biggest impact still on the region, as the vaccination was on very low level and no one wanted to make this vaccination. So we make a truck, the musical truck, which will go to different positions, different villages, and we started to cooperate with like Georgian health agency, and we asked them to bring a mobile vaccination point. So we was traveling with this music, with Tamada, who was very, very, very popular in of course in Georgia, and today he's more and more popular thanks to mobile truck. We cut it.
As someone who comes from both the public health world and the music world, wow,
Yes.
Fantastic. I love that. Interdisciplinarity, that's it.
So basically, if I get it right, basically was that in order to attend to the music festival, you have to be vaccinated at the same time, or it was to kind of promote, or it was here?
We weren't
What I heard
so
is that they
strict
allowed
for
people
that.
within a site and they just vaccinated with Sarbacan.
Oh,
So they did. They did. Like that. It works.
But basically,
We will use it next time. Thank you.
basically it helped increase the rates of
Yes,
vaccination. Is just getting the information and stuff like that.
Yes, because people were listening this music and coming to that music.
And,
And
there
we were
was
making
already
these
a
announcements.
trust toward One Caucasus, and you see you stand by vaccination, that could kind of ease people to say, oh, well, if One Caucasus vouch for the vaccine, maybe that's safe.
Yeah, and to mention that the government after this will copy the concept.
Yes,
And
yes. And after that event, because we had about 100 vaccinated people per day, and it was like we were just traveling, going and doing this. And in this region, there was very low, like in 1% of vaccination. You know, it was very low. And after this festival, our colleague Irakli, got a call from the Ministry of Health. I think it was Ministry of Health that, can you provide something like that for us and go to other regions, because it worked. You know, this was very useful thing, because people were going to this music. As 2 years, nothing was happening, no music, no festival, no restaurants, no clubs, no bars, nothing. And in the village, there is a music, there is noise, something is happening, and people were coming there. And we had these announcements like, we have this for free, so you don't have to go somewhere to the center to have this vaccination, come back and go for the second time. And we added, as vaccination should be double, we make this second time.
Nice.
After festival, after after 1 month or 2 months, we had this second round of this vaccination point.
Okay.
So it worked, and that was cool. That was the adaptation of interdisciplinary, and that was cool.
That's fantastic.
I think it's a fantastic way to close the time we spent together. We had to move because of the sun is attacking, and soon I see it's kind of hunting you down. First, thank you both to kind of present that fairly unique location, to opening the door of that village and explain over the last 9 years what happened. In a one sentence, what do you wish for the 10th year? Where do you want to see the festival go?
I would say that on the 10th year, I can say that 10 years ago, we was saying that on festival here, after 10 years, we will have 10,000 people here. So next year, we wait for you guys to...
Fantastic.
Come on, Canada.
And
Come on.
and for you, Lud?
For me, it will be like what we saw in 2020. We weren't there, but it was working, and we were proud that it was like to pass. You know, to don't be like, I wouldn't like to be in 10 years the old guy to say, oh, I know how it works. I would like to have young people, new fresh blood doing things that I couldn't imagine that could be done here.
So even if you cannot be there, it's still people take it and make it their own.
Make it further.
That's a fantastic case.
Yep.
Well,
Thanks, Valentine, for that mashup of webcasts.
thank you, Gabrielle, too. It was very efficient. It's a summer edition. We both kind of joined forces.
Yes.
And thank you all. And that's it. Don't forget, if you have any questions, comments, and such, there's a fantastic section down below.
And
feel free to use it.
Thanks to our technical team right beside here. Can you show us the camera? You have the opportunity to do it.
Fantastic.